Hey, welcome back to Steve Reads a Comic. What's up, fellas?
Hello?
Hey, Sean.
Um,
Notice Rob is closer to the garage door this time. It must be getting hot in Memphis.
I'm
feel
in
like
the
it's
same
been
spot I
hot.
was last time.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember the Phobos thing behind you. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I got all my kids' art throughout the years in my garage.
what are you gonna do when it's only 90 now? What are you gonna do when it gets like 100?
I'll be used to it by then.
You'll just sit out here and do the podcast in the garage?
Oh, no, I'll be inside probably eventually.
Okay, that's what I was curious
No,
about.
I got a little air conditioner behind me. It feels pretty good.
Is it 90 down there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
90.
God,
Felt like
damn.
95.
I don't even know what it is up here. I have to look.
Yeah, I was just thinking that on the way home. I was like, man, I wonder if Rob's going to do the podcast in the middle of freaking August in Memphis in the garage.
It's only 71
Depends if
up
I
here,
still have house guests or not.
right?
You will.
Yeah.
Hey, I just dropped $1,400 this week, and it wasn't on anything that I wanted.
What was it
What'd
for?
you get?
New tires, oil change, all that good stuff.
Ah, yes.
And I was just like, I had a pretty decent paycheck, last week. I was like, oh, this is because I really did good on sales plan last period. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to, do something with this money. And it's gone. Like every time, like, man, I could treat myself for something. Gone.
Being an adult
I don't treat
sucks.
myself. I treat other people.
I tried to treat myself.
I can't remember the last thing I bought.
That mug you're drinking out of?
No, I think Sean got me that.
Oh, that was Sean.
Sean gets me more shit than I buy myself.
That's like Kristen, my wife. She doesn't buy
Sean
anything
gets me
either.
more stuff than my own brother.
Wait till you see this year's present. You're going to love it.
For who?
You. For the listener, our birthdays are coming up here. Real quick.
Don't give me anything. That means I got to
Too late. No, you don't have to give me nothing, dude. I'm about giving. That's what I am. I'm a very giving person.
Yeah.
Yep. No, not at all, but sometimes I try. I was just thinking, like, I bought a bunch of stuff, not only for my mother, but my wife for Mother's Day. And I was thinking, like, all these holidays where I get my wife something, and just like, I should just stop and then just like save that money and like go somewhere instead, like all the different holidays and stuff. It's just like Valentine's Day, all that shit. It's like, because I end up just, buying a lot of crap,
Right.
You buy stuff for your mother and then you never send it on time. It's
I know.
Shows up like a month later. It's
I'm
like,
horrible
what's this
about
for?
that. This last time I have the anniversary gift, which was a month before Mother's Day. I have both those coming, but I still didn't get it on time for Mother's Day. So I got their anniversary gift and her Mother's Day present coming. It should be there today, hopefully. So, I know. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I'm sorry.
All right. So just for the listener, it is, what is it, May 16th, 2023. Anything we talk about is open to spoilers. So if you hear us start talking about something you haven't seen yet, and you don't like spoilers, fair warning, shut it down.
Shut it down.
Otherwise, anything up to this point, May 16th, 2023, is up for spoilage.
You been watching a lot of stuff this week?
Nothing new, really.
I played the shit out of that new Zelda game, dude. I felt bad. I spent like the whole weekend, I got up for Mother's Day and cooked my wife some stuff for breakfast, and then, dude, it was just all weekend I was playing that damn Zelda game.
Is it a lot like the first one?
They're like, it's all the same. It's like Breath of the Wild, but it's like they don't even try to do anything new. It's always like the boulder people, the sand people. It's all like, it's always the same people. And I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I'll play this for hours on end, They
Yeah.
don't even really try and I mean, it is like Breath of the Wild, and I think they got a little more creative with it, but it's basically the same, you know.
Well, it's one of my favorite games, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they definitely expounded on it a little, you know.
Yeah, I haven't picked that up yet. I'm still playing Jedi Survivor off and on, and it's okay. It's got like these crazy good reviews, and I feel like we live in a world now where everything is either amazing or terrible, and there's no like when they give reviews, there's rarely an in between where they're just like, oh, it's pretty good. Well, I'm here to say this game it's pretty good. It is not great like the reviews. The reviews act like this game is amazing. It incorporates all kind of mechanics that have no business in a Star Wars game. All these Dark Souls style mechanics. Uh, you still feel like you're swinging a wiffle ball bat when you're swinging a lightsaber because you're hitting stormtroopers 3 times with a lightsaber and other things even more. And you're like, no, it's a fucking lightsaber. Like it's an insta kill. I want to feel like a Jedi. I want to feel powerful, like the old Force Unleashed games that came out on like the Xbox 360 in that era.
So I never played that. You just chop people in half, basically. Is that how that works? Or?
Well, no, I mean, Force Unleashed is just a little. You have a lot more force powers. You have like the lightning and your force push, and they're a lot more powerful. Your lightsaber still doesn't hit the way it should. I think the last time it really hit the way it should was in the Jedi Knight games, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy. But even then, you still get very little like limb amputation. You might see something here or there, but I just want to feel like a Jedi. I want to. You're swinging the coolest fictional weapon of all time, and you're bouncing off of shit with it, and it makes no goddamn sense. Like, let me feel that there needs to be a mode, if nothing else, like true Jedi mode, where the lightsaber acts like a fucking lightsaber.
It's like the game that lasts like 12 seconds. Then,
well, no, you can still have multiple enemies. You know, that's all you got to do. Is there's segments where you gotta fight tons of enemies, and they're usually like those little battle droids. So you just slice through them real quick, and I'm like, this is fun though. This feels like being a fucking Jedi, and you're getting swarmed, so it's still challenging. You still have to block and parry and stuff to survive. You can't just constantly swing your lightsaber, but it feels a lot better than the majority of the sections where you just come across some random fucking dude with a stick who fucking wails on you somehow.
It's Ray.
Like, no.
You've encountered Ray.
Yeah. And dude literally has a staff, and he's taking half your life bar, and you're like, what is happening? Like it's stupid. It takes me out of the game, but it's okay.
Should I buy it, or is it not good enough to?
Dude, I'm in the minority. A lot of people love it, so you might love it.
Right.
I think there's again, Force Unleashed was the last really good one. Where at least the stormtroopers weren't draining your health every time they hit you, like in this game, where some people hit like a fucking beast and they just slap you, and you're like, you're not even a Jedi. How is this possible? You're a fucking random farmer. What the fuck is happening? So yeah, it's okay, and I'll finish. I want them to come out with like an M-rated. It doesn't even have to be M-rated, I don't think. There's not really any blood with a lightsaber because it cauterizes all the wounds. So that's why I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, let me chop limbs off, man. Let me chop heads off. That's what I want to do as a Jedi in this game. But yeah, I've been playing that off and on. I'll finish that one day, and then I'll get Zelda. Or I'll get bored with this, and then I'll buy Zelda.
They need to make the lightsaber setting not as potent, you know? It's like kind of like a sharp knife and a dull knife, you know? Where you're like, wow, I really want this guy to suffer, so I'll set the setting to low on lightsaber.
Well, that's what it is, though. That's what it feels like you're playing as. You're playing with a dull lightsaber. It's barely emitting a beam. But it looks really good. It runs smoothly for the most part. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. And then I've been revisiting the Jurassic Park movies. I'm always tweaking my picture and sound. So I haven't fucked with my picture in a while. I'm pretty happy with that. But my audio, when I was going through the Star Wars movies on the 4K disc, I wasn't getting as much bass, it just didn't sound full. It sounded really compressed. So I started messing with my settings. Found a setting that I turned on called Dynamic EQ that made a huge difference. Really pumped up the surrounds and the bass, but not to an exorbitant level. But it also turns out the Star Wars movies just aren't mastered that well. Because when I put in Dune, the most recent Dune movie from like 2021, that sounded like I was at a fucking movie theater. I was like, why doesn't Star Wars sound like this? This is what Star Wars should sound like, where the whole house is rumbling, people are complaining. But the dialogue's also really clear, and the surrounds are really kicking in and everything. And it's a problem with the Marvel movies too. I don't know what Disney's doing over there with their disc mastering, but the audio is lame. It's just it's compressed. It's a little bit lifeless. I have to pump it up about 10 notches higher than anything else when I watch those movies just to get the same audio level.
Man, I that's shocking to me because I was just watching episode 2 and I thought it sounded great on mine, and I had the bass was kicking so hard that it knocked these freaking posters down behind me. Like I was like, oh shit,
here's
what
the thing.
was that?
You listen a lot louder than I normally.
Oh yeah, I do.
Your default volume is louder than it is. It's up to 11, dude.
Yeah. The setting is normally at 70 on my receiver, which is
Holy
fucking
shit.
loud as shit. Dude.
Mine is I default to about 50. I don't think I've gotten up to 60, but I've gotten up to 55 to really with the Star Wars movies to really help them out. Yeah. So yeah, if your default is 70, no wonder.
Why don't you go louder? It's not like you got to worry about the kid.
I don't need it any louder. That's an adequate volume. I feel I can hear everything. Everything sounds good. And I don't know. I just loud isn't necessarily better. I need a certain audio level where everything's clear. I got to get those explosions sounding good too.
I was just thinking when I first started watching movies with the kids that it was so loud they would cry. I was like, you'll get used to it.
That's really loud. That's really fucking loud.
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine now.
What got me was watching the Jurassic Park movie, the first one. You know, that movie's 30 years old, but it has DTS X mastering, which is slightly better than Dolby Atmos, just the way DTS has always been slightly better than Dolby. It always has been. However, it's mastered incredibly well. It sounds like a modern soundtrack, even though it's a 30-year-old movie. And it just disappoints me. Even with the modern Star Wars movie, I was watching Force Awakens the other day, and I was like, why doesn't this sound amazing like when I put in another movie? It's something going on there. I gotta crank it up too loud, but I'm gonna put it up to 70. I'll get divorced if I put it up to 70.
Wait a minute, was George Lucas involved at all with the sequels with sound or anything, or?
Well, no, I think this is a disc mastering thing. I don't think this is what the original sounded like in the theater. No, this is a disc authoring issue that Disney is doing with both Star Wars and their Marvel movies. I don't know what they're doing, but they don't sound nearly as good as other movies on disc. And you remember, the Star Wars movies used to be like a go-to from VHS to DVD with that THX mastering and everything.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't sound as good. And it's frustrating. It just sounds flat. And yeah, I don't like it. I can tell the difference, and I don't like it.
Maybe they're not focusing on sound as much anymore, because like I notice I always get the same sound preview at the movies.
Yeah.
It was always like every couple of years they'd like switch to something else. Some better sound. Have we gotten to the best sound we can get or something? Or
again, I think this is just a disc authoring thing, because they're Dolby Atmos and DTS:X are kind of the standards now. IMAX sound is another one. But yeah, I don't know how much clearer you can get with audio. I mean, and there's so many. You go to a theater and it's 32 speakers, and each one is a single point has its own channel.
Yeah,
it's like fucking insane. So I don't know what else there is, but I'm sure somebody's working on something.
Well, your ears are more in tune than mine, because I don't notice anything anymore.
That's because your shit's too goddamn loud.
That's because you blew out both your ears, bitch. No, I mean it's loud. It's loud, but it's not that.
Rob, what do you think of Steve's audio setup?
Oh, he always wants loud. even when my kid was asleep.
I mean,
like, turn it up.
Is it louder than normal to you? And you're
Oh,
a deaf
yeah.
person like me,
Yeah.
and like it's still too like as somebody who is partially deaf, I'm like this is too loud. this is almost too loud.
Next time you come over, I'll put it at my normal setting, and you tell me what you think.
What?
I will do that.
I
That'll be fun.
I got the dual subwoofers too, man. So this whole room it's.
Well, I got
great.
the dual subs now too, and that's why I was noticing. I was like, man, the room should be shaking more. I should be noticing them more, like I did when I put in Dune or Jurassic Park. Like when I put those movies in, the fucking bass is rattling shit, which is what it should be doing. I put in Star Wars, I was not getting the rattle even when I should.
Dude, I had to silicone those freaking comic frames to the wall there, like because I would watch movies and my shit would just fall off the wall. So I had to silicone a bunch of stuff.
I'm gonna wait until Maggie's like I don't know, she's not working or sleeping, which is those are the two things she does, so it's gonna be hard. But and then crank it up to 70 just to hear what I don't think I've ever put my receiver up to 70. I don't think I've had it past 60. So
60,
that should be
65 is perfect, but I usually go above and beyond a bit.
Whoo-wee. That terrifies me. I'm afraid my shit will come down. I have very cheap poster frames. This poster frame fell once. The little tab just ripped off the cardboard backing from just something Maggie was watching.
I told you not to cheap out in those frames when you were buying them. I was like, you want to spend a little bit more. It's worth it.
Dude, I got these for like $25, man. That if I went any higher, it'd be like $100 a frame. Like that's the difference between this and the next step up. It's like $25, $100. I'm not spending $100.
$25.
Look at all these frames. Too many frames.
$25, and you had to assemble it.
Well, no, I didn't have to assemble the frame. Bottom of the barrel, but no assembly required. Other than installing the poster, obviously. But yeah, the Jurassic. But I asked Steve earlier this week. I texted him. I was like, "What are your like demo material movies?" And I meant that not necessarily because I mean nobody's really saying, "Hey, come over and let me show you my home theater." But if you did do that, what would you show them? And for me, it was Jurassic Park and Dune were the first two that came to mind because they sound amazing. Dune looks amazing. Jurassic Park looks pretty good. It's not one of the best transfers. I'd give it like 4 out of 5 stars. Like Blade Runner has an amazing transfer, even though it's an even older movie. But Jurassic Park could be better. But audio wise, though, plus it's just I like movies that have a taller aspect ratio, and Jurassic Park almost fills the screen, which is nice. That really shows off, and that's why I'm actually excited about Avatar coming out on 4K. Because the original disc, it's 178-1, which literally fills your screen, and they'll probably do that with these in 4K. Plus, they'll have amazing audio because Jim Cameron does care about that shit.
Too much CGI. Too much.
Too much CGI.
Only in the second one, though. The first one was clearly.
The first one was just right. They
equalized. Barely any CGI in the first. Like they hired real Na'vi instead of doing the CGI Na'vi. I'm referencing a comment somebody left. I was looking at the announcement. I follow the Avatar social media, and it was saying that Avatar 2 is coming to Disney Plus. I think early next month, June 7th or something. And I just clicked on the comments because there was a shit ton of comments, and mostly out of curiosity. See if people were like shitting on the movie, excited about the movie. Most people were very excited about the movie, but the one comment that stuck out to me is one person was, "I like the first one better. This one had too much CGI," and I just started laughing. I'm like, "These are CGI based. That's like complaining about a Pixar movie having too much CGI. Basically, that's what these movies are." So I had to leave him a comment where I was just like, "Yeah, man, they really cheaped out. They filmed on Pandora the first time. They didn't want to do that this time." And because that's such an idiotic statement.
Did you get a response back?
He said something. I forget what he said. It wasn't clever or witty though. That's why I don't remember it. But the first movie was what 85% CGI, and this one was 90. So that's that's just too much. Like I don't even understand. Like what the fuck kind of assessment is that? Too much CGI in the second one. First one had way less. No, it didn't. It was all CGI, son. Like it was all
anything?
CGI.
Were there any sets? I thought it was all on blue screen.
I have what I mean. I know they had to film underwater and stuff, but it's still blue screen, obviously, or green screen. Yeah, I don't know if they filmed anything with an actual background. I'm thinking of the scenes in the first one when Jake Sully is like before he becomes the Avatar thing. There might have been a few scenes where where it was real, but even like that command center with Giovanni Ribisi, that had to be CGI. I'm guessing. I mean, I guess it could have been real.
Yeah.
But even that, what is that? That's not even 5% of the movie. It's like 1% of the movie is spent there.
They had one carpenter for the production crew, like a guy in his tool belt.
But yeah, I am actually excited to see. And Steve reminded me about this movie Gemini Man by Ang Lee.
That was the name of that movie. Thank you.
He filmed it at some incredible. I think he filmed it at like 120 frames or something. But due to disc data compression and stuff, he had to release it at I think 60 frames or 48 frames. But it looks very smooth. It's basically just called high frame rate, and so it looks really crisp. And since Avatar 2 had high frame rate stuff in it, I'm hoping they incorporate that into the disc version. I'll be disappointed if they don't.
Yeah, you were asking me like which one looks great, and I just remember watching that movie, and I was talking to my wife. I was like, "Does this look really good to you?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, so it's not just me." I thought I had it on motion interpolation or whatever. I was like, "Did I fuck up my shit?" And I was like, "I haven't changed anything." So yeah, that was interesting. Why don't they film everything in 60 or in that?
Well, sometimes it looks weird. I remember, so the first movie I saw like that was The Hobbit. The first one went to the big cinema to see, and it was, going to be high frame rate, 48 frames per second. And it did look kind of weird. Because it does remind you of a soap opera or TV. However, I think it's something we could get used to. The whole reason we film at 24 frames per second is just because that was the limitation back with Cinescope cameras or whatever, Panavision, I don't remember what it was. That was the limit, 24 frames. And now it's just always been like that, and that's what we're acclimated to. So now when we see something at a higher frame rate, because we're used to seeing soap operas or live stuff filmed at that frame rate or home video, it feels cheap because we associate it with something cheap, but it's not necessarily cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, I remember like in the beginning, there's like one of the settings is like, he's like on a dock and it's next to the water. And I was just like, this looks amazing. Like it's like looking out a window,
Yeah.
And then you're right. It was off-putting, but I think you're right. We could get used to it,
And that's what I really think it is. It's just, that's what we're used to. I feel two ways about it, because when I saw The Hobbit, I did not like it at all. But when I saw Avatar 2, I thought it looked really good, even though it would kind of go back and forth. It would go between 24 and high frame rate, and it was a little jarring. The scenes they used it for were like, they looked really cool because it was all special effects stuff. It wasn't just like hanging out on a porch swing or something like that.
Yeah. That's why when I was during the action scenes in that movie too, I was like, is it going to look the same? And everything looked great.
Yeah.
So they filmed the whole thing, like you said.
Anybody buy the digital version? Because I'm curious if the digital version's been out for a while. I'm not.
What?
Avatar 2.
No, I haven't bought.
So I'm curious if the digital version has high frame rate. I'm guessing it doesn't, just because that would be a lot of data to stream. But I'm waiting to see what the announcement is. It's supposedly coming out June 20th is the release date for both Avatar 1 and 2 in 4K.
And that is when I will watch
it. And it's still not even official, though. They haven't officially announced it yet for whatever reason. That's just the rumored release date. And True Lies is supposed to be out this year, too. True Lies 4K, baby.
Nobody went to see John Wick, did they? I haven't seen
I haven't seen John Wick.
When's that come out?
I feel like I failed on that end.
Yeah, you did.
Nobody wanted to go with me, so I didn't go.
Is it out of theaters?
I know it's coming. I think it's coming out like next week on home, on video on demand, on digital. It's pretty soon. Pretty soon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I messed up on that one. Could have saw it this weekend, but I was
What's
playing
the next
Zelda.
big movie coming out?
June 2nd is Spider-Verse, I think. And then after that is The Flash.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll see
Seems
both
like
of those
there's
in
a
theater.
lot less big movies, but I guess that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think both of those are going to do really well. Logan went and saw Guardians 3 for the second time last night with his friends.
Nice. Did he like it better the second time?
He did. I mean, and he liked it the first time too. I just rewatched Guardians 1, and this pisses me off. So I watched it on Disney Plus. I have the 4K Blu-ray, so you think, oh, let's put that in. However, the Disney Plus has the IMAX stuff, the wider or the taller aspect ratio stuff, and they won't release it on disc. So the only way to watch IMAX stuff on a Marvel movie is to watch it on Disney Plus with inferior sound and picture quality. So it's the trade-off. But those scenes look really cool though, because again, when the closer it gets to filling my screen, the happier I am. Like, I don't understand why they don't film more movies in a taller aspect ratio with consideration to the fact that the majority of the life of your movie is going to be watched on a TV screen.
I just thought when you asked me that question, you know, like, what movie do you view on your screen the most or whatever? And I totally forgot about the first Avengers movie. And it's for that reason, because it fills up the screen, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and it looks so good on
So is that your demo movie? You still haven't answered his question.
I think that would be, yeah.
Okay. That would be your go-to if somebody wanted to see what your system... I thought you would say, like, Top Gun 2, because I think that would probably be demo material.
Yeah, I thought he'd say The Matrix.
Oh, I think that's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. Anybody comes over, they have to watch that first. Then you can get to the second demo movie.
I just like to put in, sometimes I'll just put in certain scenes. Like with Jurassic Park, whenever I'm testing out settings, I just go to the first T-Rex attack. Like that scene is great for testing audio to determine if you're satisfied with what's going on. Also, the lobby scene in The Matrix is another good one too.
Yeah.
For audio testing. Those
4K transfers are nice on The Matrix.
Yeah, and they sound good too. Rob, when you gonna get a 4K TV, man? Come on, man. I'll come down there. We'll set you up.
My TV just keeps lasting forever.
I'm gonna throw a brick through that fucking thing.
I can send my son over if you want. Rob don't care about 4K.
Maybe one of your squatters will take care of it.
Shut the frack up. I can't afford that.
He's like, don't wish that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Sweet baby Jesus. Rob, hey, did you finish Yellow Jackets? Or not finish, but are you caught up?
I haven't seen the most recent one. I keep forgetting to watch though. I'm caught up except for like last Fridays.
Okay, I think I'm down one as well.
Oh, fuck. Barry came out. I didn't watch Barry this week.
I watched Barry.
Oh, you didn't watch fucking Barry, dude? I had a whole list of shit I was going to talk about.
Spoiler alert. You better get off if you don't want to hear the spoiler.
I got to watch that. I'm going to watch that as soon as this podcast. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
You motherfucker, dude. I got a shit ton of notes on this.
I
forgot. The Raven.
I've been caught up in my, like I said, tweaking my audio settings, and I don't know. Oh, so they did announce some stuff today. The Loki series is going to start playing in October. I don't remember what actual day.
Yay.
And then every episode of Echo will be out like around, I think it said November 29th or something. I guess they're putting them all out there right away for me to ignore.
Really?
I'll watch it.
I'll watch the first episode and see if it's any good. I doubt if it's anything like Hawkeye, then it's not going to be any good.
Well, it'll be the same. I mean, it's just like the same character. Did you like her character in Hawkeye?
No, not particularly.
Okay, you probably won't like it then.
I mean, I didn't like hate her or anything, but there was. It's not like she was charismatic and likable or anything.
She was a bit robotic.
She was like. I mean, it's hard when you deliver a performance when you're deaf, but I mean, she was solid in the role, but the character as written isn't very interesting, in my opinion. But we'll see. But maybe it'll be better. And then, but yeah, I'll watch Loki if that catches my interest. I'll keep watching it. Always excited for something new, I guess, a little bit. I think I watched one more episode of Succession.
You still having anxiety attacks?
It's just a very intense show, and I'm not. I don't know. I just have to be in a certain mood. I guess for that particular show, it's like I said, it's good.
But how do you get in that mood?
Sometimes it just
wow.
changes. It's literally, I think it's like an ADHD thing where I just have a certain focus. Like sometimes, like right now, like I went down a Jurassic Park rabbit hole. I was coming out of a Star Wars one, and then I think I might actually watch. I saw that Mission Impossible 6-pack up on my shelf, and I was like, man, I've only watched like the first. I think I've only watched one actual disc in 4K in that, and I was like, I should watch all those because the movie's coming out next month. New trailer tomorrow, or July, I think. Sorry, a little over a month. But the new trailer comes out tomorrow, and I was like, eyeballing that. How's that music go, Rob? No, the other music you were doing, the warm it up.
For your mood music.
Yeah, my mood music for Mission Impossible. So yeah, getting warmed up for
Sean's
Mission
like,
Impossible.
Succession is too intense. I'll watch Jurassic Park and Mission Impossible.
I've seen all those. So it's different when you know what's going to happen.
There's a lot more action in that than Succession. Let's be honest. It's more dramatic.
But I've seen those though, so I know it. I got through the fourth one was the last one I watched. And I really hate the new ones. I want to like them, but holy shit, they are
what?
They're just not the same. The new Jurassic Park movie the most. I rewatched the third Jurassic Park for the first time since it came out 20 some years ago, and I actually liked it a lot better than when I saw it. The first time I saw it, I was like, well, I never need to watch that again. But now having seen these three new movies, I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad. It's actually pretty good. It turns out it could be much worse. Fast forward to the Chris Pratt era.
Dr. Owen.
Dr. Owen, yeah. I was telling Maggie about that. I thought that was funny. He calls him that. Like, don't call Chris Pratt a doctor of anything ever.
Dr. Owen forever.
I gotta watch that. Is that on anything streaming?
I thought.
Throw Mama from the train.
It's in my Voodoo, man. I got them all.
Is it? All right.
Yeah, I have every single one on there. And it's not bad. It's just weird because it's so different. There's so much product placement that pissed me off. In the meantime, they're also talking about how bad corporate sponsorship is. Meanwhile, there's Mercedes-Benzes everywhere. There's the Samsung logo everywhere. I'm like, what? How are you going to talk about corporate sponsorship and your whole movie is product placement everywhere?
Because the audience is stupid.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. No one cares about anything.
So the dinosaurs look better than ever, but just the whole conceit with, you have like this technologically advanced. I'm talking about the first one in in the new trilogy. The dinosaur can evade thermal sensors. It can camouflage. What is happening? And then they say in the movie like, oh, dinosaurs aren't enough. It's like, yeah, they are. Dinosaurs are enough. You don't need to add armor and lasers to them. You don't need to go Fast and the Furious. Like, oh, our guests don't care. Are you shitting me? Dinosaurs are plenty. And that's the thing too, is like the best Jurassic Park had, the raptors were the main threat. They were small. Even the Dilophosaurs who killed Nedry were terrifying. And the new movies are just like, well, we got to get bigger and bigger. I was like, no, you don't. You don't have to keep getting bigger and bigger. That's not why we like Jurassic Park.
That's not why you like Jurassic Park. I could have used some fucking rocket lasers on this last one.
But that's what I mean with the Fast and Furious, where the dinosaurs are racing through the town. I'm like, what is happening? Like, why are they chasing? Like, why is there a chase scene with vehicles and shit? This is just asinine.
With Dr. Owen.
It's ridiculous.
Because my son was shitting his pants during that scene. That's why.
So disappointing. But the first ones, even the third one in the original trilogy, they had the pterodactyls became terrifying, which was cool because they weren't, again, just a super giant dinosaur thing. They had the big dinosaur running around too. But they also had some other threats.
Yeah, they had that reveal too of the pterodactyls coming through the mist and everything. I was like, this is cool.
And they did that whole river scene that was, so there's a big river scene in the book. If you read the book, there was like this big river chase, and they took it out of the first movie because, you can only put so much in, and they put it in the third movie. That's another reason I like the third movie, is they added that in back as a scene with the big river pterodactyl chase. But yeah, those first three are really good in comparison to the latest three.
We all agree the first one's the best, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, by far.
Okay.
By far. Like, I'll never forget that T-Rex scene in the theater.
Where's the goat?
Right. That was one of those great intense scenes.
Yeah.
That you never forget. So well done. We're
so lucky to see that in the theater at that age. I mean, that was perfect age.
And it was also cool so now, and here this is Sean's old man corner, but everything has amazing special effects now, basically, right? Like any decently budgeted movie, even TV shows have really, you look at CGI on TV, like when I was watching Battlestar Galactica or any show from the late 90s, 2000s, the CGI does not hold up, right? Now TV shows, Game of Thrones, these shows have CGI that looks like a theatrical quality, big budget quality. So everything has amazing effects now. But seeing Jurassic Park for the first time, that was amazing because you didn't see realistic dinosaurs in a movie interacting with people in a believable way before. That was new and exciting. And
that's true. And now that I'm thinking about it, it makes me really sad. Like that makes me so sad. Well, I mean, is there going to be a new innovation? Is it possible?
I think Jim Cameron is, as much as I rag on the Avatar movies, he's really is pushing effects forward. Because that last battle scene in Avatar 2 was really impressive. Some of the camera shots, the way the camera movement, and like when they were in those little submarines and stuff, and the way it rotated around for the explosions and how everybody was, there was something going on, and it all looked believable, and it was high frame rate, and in 3D at the time. So he's trying. I mean, people are trying to do stuff that pushes it. And
Sean's like, now put that with a good plot.
Yeah, now do that with Star Wars. Give me that cockpit view in a fucking X-wing, and that high frame rate, tall aspect ratio in a fucking Star Wars movie. They keep the aspect ratio of the Star Wars movies and the shows all the same, and I'm like, that's not the thing you need to keep the same. We don't care. You remember that one episode of The Mandalorian where they opened up the mat and they made it taller for the, I think it was for the crate dragon scene. How cool was that? Just do the whole episode like that. You know what I mean? Like, just do the whole thing like that. I'm not beholden like, well, George Lucas shot in 239-1, so we need to keep it at 230. No, fuck that. That's the last thing you need to worry about is aspect ratio, like, and being true to it, because that was the originals. Like, no, you could do great Star Wars movies at taller aspect ratios.
Yeah, just make sure you keep the screen wipes in there.
You got to have the wipes. The wipes are important. That is essential. That's very Star Wars. The aspect ratio is not very Star Wars in my mind, though. Like, they could move past that if they chose to.
So James Cameron's our only hope?
I mean, right now.
Help me, James Cameron.
I mean, there's other people doing cool stuff with cameras and everything, but I think he's the one who... and I think I've been trying to appreciate Avatar more, and I've come to appreciate it more for the fact that it is the ultimate special effects showcase. There's nothing else out there like it. Even if I hate the design of the fucking blue people, there's still a lot of other cool stuff going on with the effects and the designs and everything. So again, expanding my capacity for joy, just trying to
wait till you see the special effects at Fast 10. You're gonna shit yourself.
I never will.
Yeah,
I'd rather swan dive into the fucking asphalt. I do not want to do that. I saw the trailer, and it looks like a fucking parody, man. It does. It just looks like a parody of action movies, like a Naked Gun level parody.
Yeah, they're not trying to do anything. They're just doing stupid action. That is, they've never said we're going in here with a great story. They're just like, Here's somebody dragging a fucking giant safe through the streets. That's what they do. Family.
And family. Yeah, it's not for me. It's just too stupid. And I like stupid stuff, man. I do. I love stupid things, but that one is too goddamn stupid.
What is the stupidest? What is the stupidest thing you like?
I don't know. Evil Dead 2. I love Evil Dead 2 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like stupid stuff, man. I like Metal Gear Solid, the video game. That's got to be one of the dumbest storylines ever, but I still like the game. RoboCop is that. I mean, when you think about the concept of a robot cop, it's pretty stupid. But it's all about how it's created and directed and produced and everything, and the story and the characters. So you could take stupid stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and make them lovable and enjoyable. But I don't know it's just the disconnect, I think, between it'd be different if they were like, oh, this is Earth 2 and gravity works differently here. Cars are more powerful here. Cars can do. It's just weird to take these. It makes the Marvel movies look realistic. That's what the Fast and Furious movies do. It's like, yeah, Iron Man seems much more believable than anything happening over here. Like, that's how absurd those movies look to me.
Yeah, absurdity.
Yeah,
I can't argue with you. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Man, I love it.
And that's something I'm not trying to like. I went through and made
favorite
myself
rock movie.
I made myself go through and watch all the Harry Potters so I could, and I found some joy there finally in the last few movies. But Fast and Furious, I'm like, I don't need to like everything. All right. I can draw the line and be like, that's fine. I don't need that one. You can have that one.
What's your get down music? Is it the Harry Potter theme song?
Rob's get down music is much better than when you guys try to do the Harry Potter. You guys are like bing bong, bing bing bong.
No,
and then I'm like, keep their heads ringing. Is that what you're doing? I don't know what song that is.
Keep their motherfucking heads ringing.
Steve, you watch any Mrs. Davies?
No, but I am going to. I was playing Zelda all weekend, dude. I barely watched Barry. Barry was the only thing I watched this week.
Wow.
But yeah, don't feel bad, Rob. I'm getting to it.
No, I wonder what you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. right after I play another 72 hours of the Legend of Zelda.
That is how that game is. I remember going through. I think I have 130 hours in the first one. Dude, some insane amount.
Dude, I felt fucking ashamed this weekend, man. Like it was bad. Like, thank God I didn't start it until after my daughter's birthday this weekend because.
Didn't you go and get it on her birthday?
Where's Daddy? Yeah, I got it, but I didn't start it until.
You took her to the store and bought yourself a present?
I bought her something while we were there too. So I made it she had plenty of presents. Like she
had plenty of presents.
My kid is spoiled. She doesn't need anything else. So I didn't play it till Saturday morning. But yeah, it's just one of those times where you do absolutely nothing, man. Like Kristen brought me food.
Don't feel bad for those moments, man. Don't feel bad for those moments.
I accomplished zero.
Think about it. Think about how much time you spend putting chips on a shelf and how meaningless that activity is.
Yeah.
Like that's what AI should be doing, is putting chips on a shelf, not writing movies. Like that's what AI should be designed for, is tasks like that, not creative tasks. Like, they got it backwards. We should be home playing video games and watching movies while AI makes sure there's food on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it should be. That's ideal.
Right, but half the population thinks you need to work really, really, really hard.
No. I like the impression better. You did you did a solid, whatever that is, a watt out fucking, whatever instrument that is.
Yeah.
Sean's in the mood, baby.
In the mood for some.
Come on, Maggie, I'm ready.
Keep the heads ringing.
That was Harry Potter. Don't even try that. You know what that was.
Keep the heads ringing.
That was pretty good.
You know what that was. All right, so I shouldn't feel ashamed, is what you're saying?
No, man. I mean, it's one thing if you're being neglectful and things aren't getting done.
Yeah,
that
that's
absolutely
exactly
need to be done.
He's playing the game.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'll do it, dude. Kristen told me like she went to see her mother on Mother's Day, and me and Dom hung back. Dom played video games in his room, and I was playing Zelda. And she's like, she asked me to do one thing: just put the fucking clothes from the washer to the dryer. And she got back, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. All right, you should feel bad about that.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Like I had one thing. I was like,
that's neglectful. That's what it's
not. It's not my fault. It's an addiction. It's not my fault. It's an addiction. Blame the drug. It's not me.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into. I was waiting for you guys to ask me for the comic, and nobody asked me. So finally, I just texted you guys.
I was waiting for you to send it.
I was waiting to see. I was like,
great. I waited.
I was waiting because I was like, nobody's gonna read this motherfucker, and then they're gonna be like
on Tuesday instead of fucking Wednesday.
Well, yeah, I normally don't.
You sent it because I was gonna start looking for it.
Yeah, I normally don't start till Monday. Anyway. But then I was like, oh fuck, we're doing it Tuesday instead of Wednesday.
I had to go back and look what day.
I'm glad it was a short story.
I think it was
a short story. All right, so this week's comic is Hellboy, the Crooked Man, written by Mike Mignola, creator of Hellboy, with art by Richard Corbin. Published back in 2008. It was a 3-issue series. I'm just kind of going over the Wikipedia page here. It takes place in 1958 in the Appalachian Mountains, and Hellboy comes across this dude named Tom Farrell, hillbilly type dude that lives there. He carries around this thing called a witch bone, which is kind of like think of it like a rabbit's foot or something.
The lucky bone.
Yeah, and it's enchanted, and
Rob,
basically it's kept.
Sorry, you were supposed to play the Marvin Gaye song there. When I said lucky bone.
No, that's not appropriate.
That's
anyway,
so
it basically kept him alive through, even in World War II, no matter what was going on. The story incorporates, there's a lot of stuff about witchcraft, the Crooked Man himself, who's basically, I don't know, he's not the devil, but he's kind of like the resident devil. He's a guy named Jeremiah Whitkins, who was hanged for his crimes, but came back with they call him the Crooked Man. Yeah, his neck is crooked because
Did you get that, Steve?
Yeah, when you said it 2 seconds ago. I was like, that makes sense.
That makes sense. That's why he walks like this.
That's why he's got the neck.
This is the perfect explanation of me and the way I think. Like everything else that is obvious to most of the population, I just don't see it like that. And it's not because I'm stupid. I just don't think that way. It's I don't know. I don't think past most things. I just take stuff at face value.
I want everybody to notice the fact that I am not going to say anything about the fact that Steve just said he's not stupid. I want to be praised,
dude. I know.
I want that noted. All right.
I met stupid people. I'm not stupid. Okay. I'm just a little bit spacey, a little bit out there. Not stupid.
All right. So, but yeah, so this is just kind of a contained tale. It's almost like a little survival story.
Not a lot of Hellboy, really. I mean,
yeah.
And that kind of worries me because Sean said this was, some of this was basis for the next movie.
They're gonna have to expand on this story to make a movie for sure. But
for definitely. But I was still like, oh god. I mean, not much Hellboy in this.
The last Hellboy movie, 2019, it incorporated elements from the Wild Hunt. It incorporated a lot of different stories, but I guess the Wild Hunt was the main story, but there are a few other ones, and I assume they'll kind of do the same thing. Although the Wild Hunt was a much longer story, but they'll probably do the same thing where they incorporate some other Hellboy stories into the movie to fill it out. Which is why I liked the last one so much, because it had so many actual Hellboy stories instead of Guillermo del Toro's take on Hellboy, which I was not interested in. A lot of people loved it. I wanted Mike Mignola's Hellboy on the big screen. Instead, we got Guillermo del Toro's.
Yeah, that's
Hellboy.
what I was thinking too. Like after reading a couple different Hellboy comics now, I'm noticing that the demons and the creatures, they're much better explained in the third, or not explained, but they're shown better, like the comics in this last movie than they were in the first two.
And yeah, and the designs are better. Again, it's not, Guillermo has every time he designs a creature, you're like, that's a Guillermo del Toro creature. He's got eyes in his hands, or you know what I mean. There's like no eyes on
Not
the face.
Guillermo.
But not Guillermo, not you, Guillermo.
Not you.
But yeah, it's and he's a great guy. I love Guillermo del Toro, but I really wanted more Mignola in the movies.
New York City. I'm sorry. I'm on a tangent.
Rob is like having an old drunk man on the show.
I'm guessing you're talking about what we do in the shadows.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure.
I just when he said Guillermo, I lost it.
All right, so
basically, this was a deal with the devil story.
Yeah, this guy made it. I forgot how the witch was involved, but there was some really cool imagery in this though, with when like the horse that when it transformed.
The witch that tried to get Tom to seduce Tom to the dark side.
Elfie
Kolb. Effie Kolb. She was in the last. I think she was in the last Hellboy movie. She was, like that black lady with the white eyes.
Oh, really?
I think that was supposed to be Effie Kolb. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's cool. Well, anyway, Tom kind of made that deal, but he didn't really use that power ever.
Until they got surrounded by those creatures.
Yeah, and I think he accidentally used it too.
And he like teleported him to that church basically to save them.
Well, he did it on purpose, but he...
You think? Did he? I didn't get the impression that he did. He's like, oops, I think I fucked up.
Yeah, he knew. He was like, I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, Effie... he thought his dad was gone the whole time because he drank a lot, and he thought his dad just like died or something when he got back. And then he finds out that Effie turned him into a horse and then rode him to death the whole time that Tom was gone. What was it, like 20 years or something? And that was fucked up, man. Like the horse, when you see the horse, it's like skin and bones, decrepit, and you find out that was his dad the whole time.
When he takes the bridle off, he transforms back into human.
Yeah, so Effie was getting back at Tom for not following through with being a witch or whatever. And then dude, that scene was so funny when Hellboy was like, he ends up like shooting Effie later or something with his gun, and he's like, man, I wish I would have shot her when she was on the horse. And then he's like, but he's talking to Tom at the time, and he's like, I mean, your dad. He's like, wish I would have shot her when she was on the horse, or her dad. This is pretty good.
Also, just to update, that was not Effie Kolb in the new Hellboy movie. Strike that from the record. I just looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Google, gotta love it.
Googling it.
Gotta be accurate with the information, as accurate as I can possibly be. My memory is not great, so.
Yeah, so Tom and Hellboy kind of they hook up because there's some woman in the beginning that has been under witchcraft.
That would have been a time for Rob to do the music, because you said they hook up.
I got it ready now because I was thinking it. Oh boy, you guys ain't right.
I'm trying to think of sexual references now, and nothing. Now that I'm trying to think about it,
it's not funny if you do it on purpose,
right?
So anyway,
fuck you, Guillermo.
Tom and Hellboy are going through together because they're trying to help this family whose daughter has been, I don't know, she's got a spell on her or something. So what do? They go and they try and find out who did it, and they find out it's that Tom Whitkins guy, the Crooked Man. But anyway, along the way, they have one. Tom sees an old friend who has also been possessed or something like that. That was what Fisher, Cora Fisher, yeah. And the whole story is like Tom trying to. He knows he can't redeem himself, but he's trying to save her soul.
Yeah,
which he ends up doing in the end.
So basically, they end up in this big standoff.
Better than how you're describing it.
Yeah, I know, dude. I don't
it's a tough story to describe.
You did a good job. I couldn't have done any better.
There's a big standoff at the church, with a bunch. There's all these witches and Effie Kolb. They surround the church, but they can't get in to the church because it's holy ground or whatever.
What'd you think of Cora Fisher's skin suit?
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I was thinking about that like, what's that going to be in the movie? Like, I think they're going to go R-rated with this story. I think this is actually a fairly disturbing story, especially with Corbin's art, the way he draws, especially the way he was drawing the Crooked Man's face. It was fair. If I was a kid, it would be pretty haunting.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Oh, it was terrifying when I looked at that skin suit, Rob.
Nope.
Dude.
He's like, no, that's not nothing sexual about a skin suit. That's just gross. There's no
right, whatever. You guys suck. You guys suck. You don't know what comedy is. That was horrifying though. I can't wait to see those visuals if they do it in the movie.
And I hope
I thought Tom was gonna die. He survived. I was surprised.
Yeah. So yeah, they have the big standoff. And then there's what is it? The Crooked Man. He tries to buy tries to get some assistance.
Dude, he tries to, from doing a horrible job describing this.
I'm just trying to remember it. Let me pull it up here.
This is horrible.
The Crooked Man
just read the
he attempts to tempt Watt's assistance with gold, youth, and sight, and then appeals to Hellboy's demonic nature. I'm just reading right now.
He taunts the priest in the church.
So basically, he's after this witch bone, is what it comes down to. And
evidently, it's got some of his powers. That's why he's after it.
And then, but the preacher, he infuses the Holy Spirit into the bone or something. And then a
holy shovel.
They burn a cross into to a spade. And to go after the Crooked Man.
Holy shovel, Batman.
See, not funny.
Really hard to story to explain.
But then we get to see. Well, yeah, it's because it's I don't know. It's almost like a tall tale kind of thing. It's then the Whitkins guy, the Crooked Man, he shows his true form, this like crab looking thing, and he's got all the souls of his victims that are like gold coins in jars, and then they send him back to hell with the witch bone. And then Effie Kolb loses her power. She becomes a feeble old woman. And
he puts the bridle on her and turns into a horse.
And they paint "Beware, I'm a witch" on the side of her.
Thank you, Wikipedia. I mean, Sean.
Yes. Yes. I read this like 3 weeks ago, so my memory is like really bad. But overall, I give this about 3 stars. It's a nice short story. It's really, I think it's one of the better Hellboy stories in that, as far as horror goes, it's actually, and a lot of the Hellboy stuff is, it's definitely supposed to be scary horror type stuff, but this whole thing just has like a really creepy vibe to it the whole time. And I think
it's
a lot
good.
of that,
it really is good. It's a good 3.
Yeah.
And the Crooked Man is pretty cool. The whole concept of him.
Yeah. What'd you think of his look? He's creepy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
cool on the big screen, I think.
Yeah, it owes a lot to Richard Corbin's art, I think.
Mm-hmm.
His
it wasn't very colorful, but it was well drawn,
Yeah.
So in this comic, Hellboy is he's known throughout the world, like, because nobody.
That's how it is in the comics.
He saw him on TV. Remember, and the
BPRD is not this secret thing in the comics. That's another Guillermo choice to make it like this big secret thing. It's like, no, it's like the FBI.
Yeah.
That was a stupid aspect to add to the movies to be like, oh, Hellboy's a big secret. Like, no, why make him a big secret? What's the point of that? Yeah, he's out. He's working for the government, smashing ghouls and goblins. Basically, that's what he does. That's his job. And no, there aren't. And he works alongside many humans all the time, and he's known the world over. Just like in the movie, like in the movie the 2019 movie, he's not in hiding. He's just out and about.
So like nobody seems to be like distressed when somebody gets possessed.
Right. Everything. That's what I like about.
It's like calling Hellboy. We're good.
Yeah. Possession, demonic possessions, and spectral sightings are commonplace. It's akin to like Ghostbusters, where it's you call the exterminator. It's like, oh, we got a fucking ghost. God damn it, we don't have the budget for this. It's not this whole thing of being absolutely terrified. It's more, fuck, we got roaches. Like, gotta deal with these fucking roaches now.
This is like the Catholic Church, just send in a priest.
It's funny because I that's the one aspect of Hellboy I just don't like, but you have to have it, is that religious aspect. You have to have something to combat these, spiritual deviants. And what else? I guess you could do the Ghostbusters thing and actually just use science, which is actually a cool way to do it too. Like, oh, we'll just build things.
I like it. I like the religious part because, like, growing up, the religious part always, like, if you're going for horror, that always scared me the most, So, like,
that's called we call that trauma. Actually,
yeah, exactly.
Is that why I couldn't go down to the basement till I was 16?
Well, I mean, when you got your God on a crucifix, and that's what you see all the time, like, that's some scary shit. There was one scene in Hellraiser I remember seeing where, like, there's these boxes turning. It's like a box of heads, and like one of them is like Jesus Christ's head or something. I forget, but I remember seeing that, like, oh fuck. And then, like, all religion scares me, man. All of it. Like, remember that Madonna video, Like a Prayer? Oh my God.
Like a Prayer. Well, you were scared of that stuff because you're like, this is sacrilegious, and I'm watching it. I'm going to hell. I'm going to go to hell in the next 5 minutes if I don't turn this off. But goddamn, she looks hot.
Yeah.
I just got to finish rubbing this out real quick, and then I'll go to hell.
But it's cool. I'll repent.
Yeah, I'll just ask for forgiveness. We got this weird loophole. Rob's like, oh, I got a good one.
You're a little late, but I'll take it.
I didn't have the beginning. It started.
You just got to do the voice one, man. It sounds way better anyway, because that sounds super tinny and weird. Just do it with your mouth, Rob. There you go.
You like that better?
Yes. But yeah, religion that's exactly what it's designed for, though, to scare people and then control them via fear. And that's you're like, I like that. Like, I don't like that. I don't.
I like it in a horror movie.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're gonna scare me, good job, you nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I got this week.
Really?
Kind of. Yeah. I don't. You guys.
That's all you're gonna talk about the Crooked Man? I thought
it wasn't that long.
I thought we wrapped it up. We went through the whole thing. We gave opinions.
I mean, we went through the story, but we did it very poorly.
Yeah. I think we did I think we did a better job than we normally do. Let us know, listener, what you think.
You guys got any responses?
They'd respond, but they fell asleep.
No, nobody responds. No one wants
to
interact with us.
No Instagram things you guys post or anything?
No, nothing.
No, it's because when they do, Sean's so abrasive that they don't comment anymore.
Hey, man, they come at me. Everybody comes at me like, hey, man, I think you're a stupid asshole and you're wrong about this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come back at you hard.
Really? People that listen to our podcast?
I'm just saying, if you want to grow listenership, you probably shouldn't irate them.
Berate them.
Irate
people.
Sorry.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, fucking. I'm not stupid. I am not stupid. I'm not stupid. You can't berate them.
But I feel attacked. I'm gonna give it back to you hard. That's just how it works. Cue the
Wah,
music, Rob.
wah, wah, wah.
There you go. Now we got it. Now we're going.
See, you got to do it naturally, Steve.
Oh, I know. I was waiting for you to do it. You're slow. Now you got it because you don't have to look for
I'm
the
slow. This coming from you.
slow.
Wait,
Rob's like, let me unlock my phone. Hold on. I'm almost there. Got it. Oh, wait. It's facial recognition. Hold on. Okay, got it. Womp, womp.
Should we remind the listeners of how you got your nickname, Steve?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The Weaver School and Workshop Bus.
Yeah. You wonder why. It's talking about trauma. I mean, shit. Even if I wanted to be smart, I could never get over the hump.
It went over your head. You had no idea.
Oh, that's
see. This is still happening to this day. The trauma continues. Yeah. So they're like, basically,
hey,
you're a mentally
you're
challenged
our Drax,
kid.
man.
Yeah,
you're our Drax. Your value is not in your intelligence; it's in your.
How did it? Man,
well, thank God.
I
at
used
least
to call
I'm
you
a good
Weave Head, which was really weird.
Weave,
I don't know why.
Whacker, Weaver,
and then it just got to Weave.
Yeah,
because I guess it rhymes. But I used to call you Weave Head. I'm like, you dumb Weave Head.
And then for those who don't know what that was, is the workshop for the intellectually disabled in Akron. They when they would pick people up, it said the Weaver School and Workshop.
Yeah.
So that was basically 80s shorthand for calling people
retard.
Not so smart.
Just say it, retard.
Calling people retards.
Yeah. Thanks for that, guys. You guys are awesome.
Hey, Rob did that. That wasn't me.
Very loving, very supportive.
Rob came up with the nickname.
I'm glad that didn't. I'm glad that didn't carry over 35 years later. Thanks.
It clearly didn't.
I'm glad you got started. That is what did you call me? I don't really have a nickname like that. Do I have a nickname? Anybody call me a nickname?
Bad timing.
Bad timing. What's that mean?
Steve called you a lot of things when he was standing in the sewer begging for help to get out. He's like, listen, I'm not stupid. I'm just stuck in the sewer.
Did you have a nickname, Sean? I never call you by a nickname. Steve, you got a nickname for your best friend?
No, just Sean.
I got a one-syllable name, so it's not too much.
I called him Potties, but that was another nickname that was given to his friend Todd. But
yeah, we called Todd Potties. I don't know how that came about.
But I started calling Sean that just because Sean called Todd that all the time.
Potters. I don't know why.
Potters. What's up, Potters?
I don't remember the origin of that. But no, in high school, people started calling me by my last name. That got shortened to Eyes or Ice.
I never
was
called
just high school, though. Yeah, that was just kids in high school briefly. But that was the extent of that.
What up, Ice?
Really, yeah, I actually didn't like that because that was the Vanilla Ice era, and I hated him right away. So I didn't actually like the being called Ice because I did not like Vanilla Ice. I did not like that association. Imagine my disappointment when he came out at the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. But now I don't mind Vanilla Ice because I'm old and I'm getting over a lot of that. Back then I was just like, this is terrible.
I used to watch a show on the DIY network. I guess he does carpentry and stuff like that.
All right, so I got a few movies lined up here. Which one? I need to ask you guys this. I don't remember. Did we watch Evil Dead 1 or Evil Dead 2?
1.
We watched the first one? Okay. So I do have Evil Dead 2 on the list. But I think instead I'm going to pick Dark City. So I haven't watched that in a long time.
That's with the curly hair guy that was...
Yeah, Rufus Sewell and Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly.
Kiefer Sutherland's in it? Wow. He was young.
So that's on my Vudu Amazon Prime account if you don't have access to it.
I have Dark City on DVD.
No, okay. So please log in and watch the director's cut. I have the director's cut on my Vudu. And that'll be next week's movie.
You do.
I was actually thinking about watching that a couple weeks ago. I'm glad I didn't.
Now you have to.
Now you have to.
Now it's homework.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. We talked about. Yeah. I think we covered most things I wanted to cover. Unless you guys have something else.
I got nothing. I've been watching that Apple show, Silo.
I never heard of that. What is that?
It's all right.
I saw a preview for it.
Dystopian. They live in a silo. Society is in a silo. That's the gist. But it's
one silo or multiple silos?
Just one. So
silo.
Far, we don't know. But it's different. It's that sci-fi shit. But it's got Rebecca Ferguson in. She's really good. She's not even hardly in the first episode, but
so it's like Zion.
It's very well acted,
Reloaded.
Well done.
It's like Zion and Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, kind of. But there's no robots trying to kill him yet that I know of. It's out every week, so that's all right.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been watching the same, like I said, the same stuff.
Doesn't sound like you at all.
Got my comfort food movies and shows. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think we're really straining here, so I'm just going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with Dark City.
Ciao.
See ya.